Hello, day 43 of our reflective tarot, and can you believe it? We're on the last week, week 7. It's unbelievable. It's 6 weeks and 1 day of the Oma. So this is the final 7 days of the Tree of Life Oma reading. So today we have Chesed of Malchut. So Chesed is the 4th and Malchut the 10th. So we got the 4 and the 10 of Pentacles. We started with Chesed in week 1, the 4th Sephirot, and we used the wands, which are from the world of Absolute, which is closest to source. It's all metaphorical, really. But we finish this final week with Malchut, the 10th Sephirot, right at the bottom of the tree, with the Pentacles, which are in the world of Asaya down here. Absolute there, Asaya there. And so it's it's the ending and it's the beginning. Yeah. At the end of this week, it will metaphorically be Pentecost, or the receiving of the Torah law at Mount Sinai, what the Oma is based on. So it's the receiving, the symbolism of it is the receiving of the Spirit and the law, the promise of revelation, really. Asaya in Malchut, Asaya and the Pentacles is the world we live in, literally furthest away from source emanation, yet closest if the eyes of our hearts are open. That's the way I see it. It will be seen clearly in the qualities of both Chesed and Malchut today. Excuse me, a bit of hay fever today. Yeah, so yeah, seen clearly. It will be seen clearly in Chesed and Malchut. What I'm going to do now is I am going to read the qualities of both Chesed and Malchut from the book The Gates of Life. So it's the quality of the Sephirots, and it will give you a really kind of insight into the energies of today and of next week. I won't say what belongs to what, I'll just read them out. Okay, so we got love, loving kindness, kingdom, kingship, sovereignty, endless flow, unconditional love, nobility, Shekinah, manifestation, giving, mercy, grace, service, divine presence, nurturance, boundless love, immanence, royalty, authority, benevolence, expansion, responsibility, dignity, goodness, kindness, self-possession, presence, generosity, greatness and groundedness. So they're all the qualities from the book The Gates of Light of the 2 Sephirot. And all those words that between Chesed, and Chesed is the throat chakra, so it's expression. So all those words between Chesed and Malchut, which is the root chakra, what we're grounded in, flow down from Keter, right at the top, the crown chakra, through Sephirot, the heart chakra, and out, obviously Yesod, but out into the world that we live in. When we are rooted in all that is our crown, our expression of our heart is of the all. If that makes sense. So it's the polarity, and that alchemical merge in the middle. We're meant to live as the high priestess, you know thyself, knowing ourselves, our light and shadow, our polarities, our unity, being reflections, you know, of all the emanations of that Sephirot. So collectively, we're not meant to do that as individuals. We can't emanate that whole lot alone. We'll explode or implode. But collectively, as humans together, and with all the whole of the material world of Malchut, source emanates in. So it comes down. Source emanates in it and through all that is. But then we have this possibility, because we've got the two poles, yeah, the two polarities, masculine, feminine, negative, positive, pillar of severity, pillar of mercy, yeah. So the possibility with Malchut, because of the immense beauty and potential, I mean, it is so vast, is that we can't see beyond the material. That we don't see the seamless interaction between the seen and the unseen. So we don't see source in the material. We're meant to begin and end in source, because that's what happens. It comes down, we go back, comes down, we go back. It's seamless. So Malchut as well, we could look at it as the rest after creating the biblical things. You know, God created the world in 6 days. On the 7th was the Sabbath, and he rested, yeah, and declared it good and rested, yeah. So I'm thinking it's time this last week to integrate all the energetics we've looked at, not 6 days but 6 weeks, you know, and rest and integrate all those, reflect, integrate. And the whole point of counting the Omer is kind of like the day 50, the 50th day after the 7 weeks, yeah. And that would be in the Christian tradition, Pentecost. Now, on Pentecost, they were gathered together, it said, and there was a big wind and tongues of fire sat on their head, and they went out and spoke in tongues and preached the gospel and healed the sick. But basically, that's a metaphor for you know, expressing the divine revelation that they'd had. The same with Sinai. They received the Torah, the law, yeah, both in community. You know, they were at the base of Mount Sinai. Again, it was a spectacular thing, and there was thunder and lightning, and the earth shook. But what it is, it's a story of experiencing the transcendence of the divine in everyday life, yeah, as a collective. So that's kind of the counting the Omer, the culmination of it, and that's at the end of this week. So we're all recipients of this Chesed, this abundance, and we're co-creators in Malchut. And our responsibility is to remove the obstacles or chip away the marble that prevents the flow or obscures, you know, divinity. And we're meant to express what we learn and see out in the world in whatever way that is, you know. So that's kind of the basis of Chesed in Malchut, and also this final week and the whole purpose of counting the Omer or doing our reflective tarot. That's how I use it. Not in a religious sense. I see it all as metaphorically. So this 4 of Pentacles, you know, I've got the 4 obviously for Chesed. So that's unbounded flow, loving kindness. But it's often viewed in an opposite way as like that self-obsessed miser, you know, the one who grasps, can't let go. But when you put him with these cards, he can be seen as the one who is a sureness of his gifts, you know, what he's received. Maybe he's experienced the transcendence of divinity, you know. But yeah, he can be seen as sure, you know, holding on to his inheritance, stable and balanced in the four worlds and the four levels of his soul, grounded, you know in his heart, and kind of crowned with the knowledge and experience of the divine, of Keter, the first emanation. So self-possessed, he's got that self-possession of Malchut, and presence. You know, he's got presence. He's balanced all his elements. You know, his earth, air, fire, and water, and the psychological equivalent of that. And he's manifesting this flow from Hesed. So this crown pentacle, as I said, can be known as a knowing of divine presence, which is divine presence in Malchut as well as Keter, as Shekinah, the feminine expression. Yeah, and Shekinah here is, for me, symbolised by this high priestess. So she holds, you can see, the Torah, which is what the Israelites or Moses received at Mount Sinai, the book of the law, the Torah. So she's holding the Torah in her lap. It is slightly obscured, and that's to do with her energies. And she's got the cross of the cosmos at her heart, the reflective moon, cosmos again, at her feet. And she's sitting between the polarities, the two sides of this, yeah, and you know, the pillars of the inner temple by the garden of pomegranates, and that's the realm of Hades in myth, the underworld, the subconscious, the anima mundi, you know, the world soul. So she, for me, is the guardian at the threshold. And her path here is over Da'ath. It's from Sephirot to Keter, over Da'ath, which is the abyss. And that's the point, the abyss, Da'ath, is the point where spirit meets the material. Yeah. So she, yeah, dweller of the threshold by the garden of the underworld, yeah. So she, for me, is a symbolisation of Shekinah in Malchut, who lives up here, right at Keter. It's the unity of the whole. Now, where that's often expressed as negative, this is often expressed as positive. But I'm thinking the people here have reached the peak of like their material abundance, home, family, income. But what strikes me, they're totally oblivious of the pentacles surrounding them. You know, they've got material wealth, but it's kind of doubtful that they've got spiritual wealth. You know, they've worked and got their material, nothing wrong with that, but they haven't experienced the transcendence of the divine, you know. So, and I thought the only one who appears to be seeing is this tiny little child, which kind of tells you something about the condition our hearts need to be in to see it. So, you know, the material abundance, it's available for anyone who's got faith in it. and work within the material laws, you know, which is work, work and acquire, you know. There's other material, physical laws. We've also got like the law of attraction, you know. People, you see it a lot online. I mean, yeah, it works. I've got no doubt that works, the law of attraction. And there's a lot of good things about the law of attraction. But yeah, you will end up like that. But, you know, it depends what you're, you know, whether you're wanting the, you know, to experience the source, the spiritual, or just experience the material. It doesn't matter either, but it's where you're focused on. But, you know, material wealth, and you see it online, you know, people who feel they're very spiritual because they've worked out how to do the law of attraction. But material wealth's absolutely no gauge to either goodness or spiritual attainment. You know, there's that thing, the sun shines on the unrighteous and the righteous type thing. And it can also lead to a sense of division and isolation. We'll see that tomorrow with the Five of Pentacles. But it'll never bring, that material abundance will never bring the peace and harmony to the soul. And for this, we have to work with the cosmic and mystical laws of the High Priestess in order to have our hearts illuminated and to see, you know, the divine in the material, and then release what is not necessary or that stops our growth and be liberated. Yeah, so they were how I reflected on it. I have profound awe of the energies of the High Priestess, or anyone who contains them. They're just amazing. They're people who have walked over the abyss, over the veil, you know. So what I'm going to do this week, because we're in Malchut, we'll be in the 10th Sephirot all week. I've got the Hero's Dream Journey, that's the Joseph Campbell Heroes deck, which I'll pull from because it's the world. And all of this, all the balancing of the elements, you know, experience the transcendence of the divine is all expressed and worked out within our day-to-day lives in whatever way. It can be in your family, in a job, whatever, or in, you know, spiritual practice. So yeah, Heroes deck this week, and Pentacles. Let's have a look at this. Couldn't be a better card. 51. Be the bridge. Expand your consciousness and behold both worlds. So this is the path of the High Priestess. Be the bridge. Yeah, it's everything I was saying. It's that, you know, you can have abundance, you can work the law of attraction, but it's like the spiritual path is not with material. Yeah, you get abundance, you can get that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but you've got to go through and over that abyss, death. You've got to go through the veil, and then when you have, you then become a bridge between, you know, between the heart and the crown, really. You're an expression of that place behind the veil. So yeah, be the bridge, people. There's a message. And I'll pull us an elemental, as we've got our lovely Four of Wands, Four of Pentacles with all these balanced elements. See what we may need to work on, or what Spirit wants to show us. I mean, I see the tarot very much as, you know, this kind of energy between the two worlds, because you're using something very physical, but you're using the symbolism of the mystical to, you know, bridge between. So any of you out there who are readers, you know, you are bridges, you're doing that kind of work. Okay. And beautiful tools they are too, material tools, the tarot. Incredible. Ooh. Okay, so we got Earth, that's our Malchut. Earth element. Oh, what a beautiful. Yeah, trust your inner strength and reap the benefits. Yeah, be the bridge, people. Bridge, you know, bridge. Look at both worlds. Go behind the veil. Stay in the world, but trust your strength to do it. Trust your intuition. Trust your, you know, whatever spiritual practice you're using. Trust that spirit is there. Trust the divine is just in, well, we're contained in it. Everything is contained in that divinity, so trust it. And I'll pull us a daily message to finish the message off. Oh, that wasn't a very good shuffle. I think it's the angle I'm shuffling here, so I'm shuffling on oh, we've seen this one before on camera. Yeah, it's the Earth, look. It's kind of cosmos and Earth. Yeah, it reminds me, you know, reminds me of that priestess, be the bridge. Yeah, see, I think we've had this message out a few times and messages like it, and I think I'll read it out. Take responsibility for every thought and feeling. It can affect the whole universe. You see, I don't think we realise how powerful we are, and this kind of law of attraction, and you know, as I said, there's nothing wrong with the material, but if we're doing that sort of thing, then we really need to realise that we are connecting with mystical laws, cosmic laws, physical laws, cosmic laws, mystical laws. And we need to take responsibility for what we're thinking and what we're feeling, because it's spiritual and it manifests out here. The word and words, you know, called spells, they're called logos. Logos, it's creating. We are creators, whether we recognise it or not. And I think as science is moving into, you know, more and more into the quantum, we're going to understand more and more and more about how powerful our thoughts and feelings and the energies and vibrations that manifests out into the world. Because this metaphor for receiving, you know, the Torah in that priestess's lap, it's receiving that knowledge of that quantum, that unseen, that behind the veil knowledge, you know, and we need to be using that as well, valuing it, you know, trusting ourselves with it, trusting spirit, and being a bridge, not just to feather our own nest. Yeah, you can do that and have comfort and healing and abundance, but it's meant to be connecting us, you know, it's meant to be giving us that, broadening that understanding of source in all, and us being, you know, creators, co-creators. yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop there or I'll go on for ages. Well, enjoy this week, and that's your messages. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.